Game on, everybody! We're headed into the next match of the tournament here, and we have a pretty good one on our hands. We have Sonic on the bottom left of the map going up against Madfrog. Yeah, we're gonna have an Undead versus human. Sorry, an Undead versus Nightelf. Sonic starting in yellow here and all the way up to the top. We have the Swedish Undead player, one of the legends, one of the first one to go to Korea and play there, coming back to Europe and absolutely ripping everybody apart in Reign of Chaos in particular. And he never really followed the pro gamer path as others did, but definitely Madfrog, one of the big legends in WarCraft 3. And now starting to play again with Reforged being anticipated, so pretty cool to see him back in action. Obviously can't really focus all of his time and attention onto the game as others do that have stayed and became pro gamers, but still pretty amazing to see him back. And in typical Madfrog style, he has his very own style of play, oftentimes starts against several races with, let's say, Dreadlord first, for example, loves his gargoyle style. And that might be something that we are going to experience in this game now in particular. Gargoyles also slightly buffed by Blizzard in the recent one of the recent patches. Keeper as the first hero on the side of Sonic, and Madfrog starting things with the Death Knight here. Now as we're looking at this, we have of course a forward Ancient of War, so he's going to start creeping the camp very soon with the first Archer and with the Ancient of War up at the front. In addition to that, keep in mind that here at the Endgame Gear Masters, this is the second qualifier. The players are gathering points through the first 3 tournaments to participate in the grand final. The final tournament with an online and an offline part, and especially the offline part could be interesting to a lot of you guys. So if you live in Germany or you plan visiting in the middle of August, you should definitely have a look at endgamegear-masters.com and check it out. The offline part of the final will be in Osnabrück in the esports factory, and that's going to be on the 17th of August, shortly after my birthday. I'm going to be there too. The players are going to be on site as well. It's going to be a barbecue, and it's going to be a pretty epic Warcraft 3 day. It's going to be a lot of fun with invited guests as well. Second Ancient of War is now coming in, and Madfrog couldn't play the first qualifier. Sonic, on the other hand, did. Got eliminated by Foggy, though, and is now trying to gain a few more points for the standings. Foggy was able to move on and win the tournament completely, which gave him 6 points, actually. Madfrog with a bit of an aggressive move here. So he goes into the upgrade into the Halls of the Dead. We're already having the first entangle there, and saved so far by the coils. So there's a little bit of a mana trade that we have between the two. But there's still a couple of ghouls that are making their way over into the base of the Nightelf, who's still trying to harass. Keeper in the early game is usually giving you a lot of control. It's one of the main reasons why Keeper is played, and oftentimes with Huntress as well. A lot of tier 1 units plus Keeper usually means that you are starting to control the early stages of the game. You can force fights whenever you want them. You can harass your opponent. And with a lot of tier 1 units, you normally are very dominant on the map itself, at least at that point. So we have a little bit of a harass happening down at the bottom of the map, where Madfrog is currently just trying to make sure to employ those ghouls so that the archers can't creep additional camps here. So at this point, as mentioned before, they already complete the one down here, but now we're having the second Ancient of War already scouted out too. So it is definitely going to be a pretty aggressive style that we're seeing from Sonic surrounding the Keeper, but he still has the tech into tier 2. So he has the option to go into a bunch of units on tier 1. I don't think he added a Hunter's Hall yet to his setup, so we're going to see archers for the time being. In the meantime, the Death Knight now coming in as well, and we still have the Keeper in play. Tries to get another hit in with the Entangle against the Ghoul, and with the help of the archers, I think this one is going to be a goner. So the Keeper with decent experience now, especially to the creep that we saw. No Dust of Appearance right now for the Frog. That makes things a little bit harder for him to really deal with the archers. The Shadow Melt obviously helping them quickly. One Wisp in the main base of the Undead player also gives him a slight idea of what's going on there. Skeletons can't really do too much. Eventually Madfrog will obviously have to try to get experience for his army too. Madfrog is sitting at 30 supply right now with 29 for Sonic. And let's see. Another attempt to go for the Ghoul. Again, this is just mana trading. If there are no other units involved, then the chances of you actually getting a Ghoul with this would definitely mean that you have to invest a lot of mana for that setup. It's all a bit of a cooldown and mana game. And Madfrog denies it. Yeah, gets the last hit in and therefore denies that, but we still have, thanks to the creep on the left side of the map, now a level 2 for the Keeper, so Sonic is playing this pretty nicely. The Potion of Invulnerability is going to be an extra reward for his efforts. Maybe a coil on this one could... doesn't have the mana to send one out. That's his biggest problem. And Sonic is playing this really well. But again, at least one archer goes down as the death coil hits. The Tree of Life is nearly upgraded into the Tree of Ages. And we have a little bit of a creep with ghouls only on the right side of the map. So at this point, Madfrog heavily focused into ghouls, which obviously only cost gold. So you can still save a whole bunch of wood for later on in the game and really try to just tech over. Scroll of the Beast now, taken by him. More creep also from his opponent, and that means eventually that we're going to see that keep on level 3. Quick tech into the Black Citadel before he goes into the second hero. And Madfrog is currently sitting at 32 supply. Now again, with level 2 already reached for him and now a Dust of Appearance in his setup, selling the Town Portal, there's a lot of resources there to really just play the kiting game against his opponent. But you can already tell that this is definitely a deviation from the traditional style that we see from most Undead players that would at this point go straight into ghouls, straight into fiends. And Madfrog is playing pretty much an older style, but as I said previously, as we were headed into the game, he likes to just play his own style. And he's not a fan of fiends. He has also a stream on Twitch, and if you watch that at any point, I mean, we have Cannibalize in action now as well. He's frequently talking about how Fiends is just a style that he personally doesn't enjoy, so he plays Ghouls, Gargs, he likes to have this fast army. We have now the Death Knight on level 3, Wand of Lightning taken as well. And the Keeper again on a bit of a mission, starting to move up to the top. And down here, on the other hand, that could have nearly been... Like, just imagine that little attack if it is in the middle of the creep. That would have been pretty great. Madfrog with the attempt to lure the creeps over to the Ancient of War. That didn't quite work out. Nope. Oh, wow. Is he able to save it? No, the Archer. That was a good one. Archer is able to save that. Talking about saving things, it doesn't really seem like this one is going to be saved. Big win now for Sonic. Able to take down the shop with the trains there. Yep, the Lich is out, but that doesn't really help your cause here. Great move by Sonic. That was actually fantastic. And especially since it's going to delay the Orb of Corruption. So the Lich is out, the tech into tier 3 is done, but there's no Orb of Corruption because the shop was taken down, and that is a massive problem. There is a fight at the bottom of the map though, and we have the Demon Hunter as the second hero now with the Staff of Preservation. It's immediately being used there as well to save one of the archers, but Dryads are joining the fun now too. And, well, Sonic is just using all of his mana up with his top attack to take down the forest here and get more treants in. The Lich itself has a little bit of experience thanks to that entire encounter, but the Lich is going to fall if he doesn't pay attention. Madfrog, oh my god, loses the Lich, doesn't pay attention to the top, was busy himself at the bottom where the Death Knight and the ghouls were trying to set up a bit of a creep jack. That didn't work out, and now with the Lich gone, the base is obviously open. The Black Citadel is at least getting some value in, but unless he can somehow take down that Keeper, it's going to be a problem. Does he have the mana for the Death Coils? He has none. He goes for the Surround, and he hits it! Hits the Surround. There comes the Town Portal, so he's at least able to get that one off. But the Lich is going to be back pretty quickly. It was only level 1. More units haven't really fallen here, and thanks to the Cannibalize, they are quickly back to business. But Madfrog is a little bit rattled, and he's rebuilding the shop and can then go into the Orb of Corruption. Sonic has 47 supply by now. Madfrog is at 36 himself. And down at the bottom of the map, the tech into the Tree of Eternity has just been completed. Ancient of Lore starting to pump out a couple of Druids. Druids of the Claw here, with the Master upgrade already queued in. Obviously, Madfrog trying to get his heroes a little bit higher now. He really needs it. But he's also trying to expand with this. And it's a little bit of a weird one. I mean, again, he doesn't have a lot of production structures, as you can see in the main base. He doesn't have a slaughterhouse, so he's playing this without at this point. Finds a crystal ball. Not really the item that you normally would love to get there. Demon Hunter on level 2 has found the Boots of Khaldor. Fantastic for him. Main attribute, therefore boosted. Gives him additional damage. And also a Pendant of Energy, which is likely to end up on the side of the Keeper, who by now has the Orb of Venom, which obviously gets traded in now. And that is a fantastic setup. Now, if Madfrog can sneak this one in, that would be great, but the chances of that happening are slim to none, and you can already see the Nightelf army moving towards the top of the map, and obviously this one is going to be cancelled right now. So Sonik is sitting at 50 supply, is not moving into the low upkeep yet. Madfrog with his army is moving cross-map, and he's sitting at +1 attack ghouls. But there's nothing else, and a ghoul-only army is not really going to succeed here. He needs a lot of items in order to make this work, and he has a single scroll of healing at this point. And this is not going to be a whole lot for him. Well, he has 2 if you use the scroll of the beast as well. But there's the attack, and I guess he might just try and go in and force a quick move out. Well, he's gonna get the shot, but if he really wants to save his base, I think he has to go for the Tree of Eternity and try and force it. And that's exactly what he does. Attacks the Tree of Eternity, and there's no portal! There is no portal on the side of Sonik. He doesn't have a town portal. There comes the scroll of the beast, and uh-oh, that might be a problem for Sonik in the long run. Town portal, there's none on either player, and that is going to be a Tree of Eternity that gets destroyed quickly. Boom. That one's gone. And in the meantime, we're having a massive amount of Ziggurats being upgraded to Spirit Towers, and the Black Citadel is still alive. That's a problem for Sonik all of a sudden. He needs to take this down now. But here comes the attack right as we're talking about it. And obviously, Madfrog is determined to take down the base of his opponent as well. Not buying a town portal didn't really help here. By now, Sonik is relying heavily on the potion availability and staff preservation if it ever comes to a fight. The problem is that the Acolytes are now dying too. Ooh, the bear gets annihilated. And this is a disaster for Sonik. Madfrog is in a great spot all of a sudden. We're talking 33 supply against 32, and Madfrog takes the entire base apart. Everything is falling. And there's still a ghoul down at the bottom. There's no expansion. Yes, the Black Citadel has fallen as well, but there's still 4 Spirit Towers, and they're getting focused on the Archers. Archers are falling all over the place, and this is a massive problem right now all of a sudden for Sonik. He definitely didn't anticipate that move. Everything gets destroyed here. And we have 25 supply against 32. This is absolutely insane. I mean, what's happening in this game? Another Dryad is falling against this. Oh my god, the piercing damage takes down the unarmored unit. And Sonik is just sitting there, and I don't think he can believe it. Yep, there's a ghoul taking down the Moon Whale. Guys, this could be game. At this point, Sonik is in so much trouble just trying to get a couple of structures hidden on the map. There's the Moon Whale, but he doesn't have anything anymore. He's down to 18 supply. We have 31 on the side of Madfrog. Madfrog still has a little bit of mining at the top. 75 gold for him, and he now has to decide how to play this. This is insane. Sonik still has a lot of gold then again, so he might be able to put a Tree of Life in somewhere. That's an issue for Madfrog. He will have to stay and fight now. Coil comes in. Well, the Nova does. The mana burns. Surround attempt, and he goes for the Demon Hunter. Sonik is getting revealed. There's the potion availability already being used, but they're going for the Death Knight. Death Knight on level 4. And oh my god, I can't believe this. What a game. Another setup would take down the Death Knight. Is he actually going to fall to this? He doesn't, but the Demon Hunter goes down. And Madfrog takes Sonik. GG, and that's game. Sonik loses to Madfrog. Unbelievable. The base trade scenario between the two of them as Madfrog moves on to the 3rd round of the Endgame Gear Masters.